I don't think anyone has done Fantasy Rugby League as a video series before, unless you have, Dan. I don't know.
No, not yet. Anyway,
This is Daniel or Dan. Which would you prefer?
either. I'm not forced.
Daniel Barker Gray, author, been on the podcast before. Yeah, I mean, you do everything. You've got YouTube, you've got all kinds of different things. I'm just putting these headphones on so it looks like Kieran Cunningham.
Yeah, that's all right. No, yeah, fingers in a lot of pies is what I've been described as.
I got this headset free, and it doesn't actually work, but it looks like I'm wearing big headphones now. So that's good. So basically, we're here to talk about Fantasy Super League because it's launched. I was a bit concerned we were going to have to do the card game, and I'm not sure how we could have spun that out longer than about 2 minutes. But
well, unless anyone wanted footage of me trying to take out a bank loan so I could buy the Gareth Widdop card, I don't know, but. Yeah, that seems like a completely different can of worms. I've seen it in the Premier League with something called So Rare, but I don't quite understand how it works. But because Rugby League are doing it, I've signed up to that as well. So, it's...
I mean, the great test of the... I'm going to take these headphones off. I can't hear properly. The great test of this concept will be to see how long we can manage to spin this series out for, because usually when I play fantasy football or whatever, I get bored within about 3 weeks. So,
yeah,
anything longer than that will be a miracle. I'm going to share my screen. So this should be good. Hopefully I've done a test earlier and it does work. So
oh, good.
Yeah. Can you see my screen?
I can indeed.
So I've got on here all the. I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to minimize it a second because it doesn't work properly. Here are the points you get in Fantasy Super League for the uninitiated at home who don't understand how this works. The ones in blue, they're my colours. That's what you get points for. The ones in red, you get points knocked off for. So we don't want to pick any players who get red cards or yellow cards might be a bit tricky this year, I guess, and penalties. And we do want to find players who score tries, make clean breaks. Has anyone kicked a 2040 in Super League?
I don't think so, to my knowledge. I could be wrong.
Well, we'll find out in a minute because I've got the stats up. So basically, we're looking for players who do lots of things and earn us points, really, aren't we? I mean, that's the idea.
Basically, yeah.
Right. So, what if I've got my blank team here? I've not given it a name. Let's give it a name: Wakefield Outlaws, because that's the team name I always give everything. Have you seen the most expensive player on the game?
I have. Obviously, I have picked another team, and I did look, but I can't remember off the top of my head.
Jordan Williams, 190,000.
Yeah.
I don't know. So I don't know enough about rugby league to know why he's
No, me neither. To be so honest with you, that has taken me by surprise somewhat. I was expecting somebody, i.e. Bevan French or Jay Field, and that's me just being completely biased as a Wigan supporter.
Okay.
But you'd expect
Bevan
one
French
of the.
Is 145,000. There, look.
Yes.
It's only worth $5,000 more than Joe Westerman. How did you pick your team before I get into the nonsense of how I'm going to pick mine?
Again, just touching on being a Wigan supporter, I've basically gone for a bit of a Wigan diaspora in that I have picked some players that play for us, but I've also chosen a lot of players that used to play for us. So let me just get my...
See, I can now pick a team full of players who don't play for Wakefield anymore, because that's anyone in Super League, because I can't pick any Wakefield players anymore.
That's quite correct. That's not a bad idea, actually. Without wishing to sort of reveal how much of the sausage is made, I've picked, for example, my Wigan players. I've got Bevan French, and I've also got him as my captain. I've got Harry Smith, and I've got Willie Isa. But at the same time, my two centres are Toby King and Oliver Gildart, who, of course, have both played for us. I'm just going to go into it again. My two wingers, actually, I've got Innes and Lewis Senior, mainly because going back into the card game, they were two players that came up straight away in my pack, so to speak. So I thought I'll carry it over. I've picked those two as well. I've also got the likes of Sam Powell, Joe Greenwood, and Sammy Kabula in my team as well. Again, just sticking with the former Wigan theme. So yeah,
how many teams? How many teams have you picked? Because I know you can pick 3, can't you? Have you got?
I've only got the one at the moment.
Only got one. We'll see how long that takes. I mean, we can spend £2.1 million, and people from outside can do their own jokes about Wigan breaking the salary cap in the past.
Yep, yeah, I'm fully prepped for them. Don't worry.
Only 3 players from any one club. So basically, what I've thought is I've looked at these numbers and think, right, tries, that's obviously important. Try assists, but things like meters gained and stuff, you get a point for every 10 meters gained, or a point for every tackle made. So I've gone to the Super League website and I've got the stats up for 2023. Tries obviously at the top. You've got those gentlemen there who are all in Super League this year, so that's good.
Yep.
Meters made, again, Tom Johnston pops up again. Josh Charnley pops up again. So there's Liam Marshall pops up again. So there's another couple of names that you can look at. Where's tackles? Tackles, TK. Obviously, this is going to be slightly different because you don't expect wingers to make tackles. So again, Cameron Smith is one of the higher rated players in the game in terms of cost, but he also scores. He's got 7 tries as well, so that's another 70 points and blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Don't bother picking Jay Pitts or Matty Ashers because they're not in it anymore. Ben Garcia will probably get a pick. So I'm trying to look based on the stats, but when I do this now, none of it's going to be stats based. Like straight away, Tom Johnson's in there because he used to play for Wakefield, so he's in there. Who else do I need? Who do I get at fullback? Well, I like Luke Cooley, but I don't know how Castleford are going to do. So do I go with him, or do I put Jake Connor in there because he rocks all diamonds, as they say? Who shall I go with at fullback? Actually, this is the great thing about not paying any attention to the competition. Well, you mentioned him earlier, 145 grand for Bevan French, and he may play elsewhere on the field. Getting him in there, so he spent 280 grand. This is not looking good, is it? Centers. I like the fact that you've gone with Toby King, but again, he's expensive.
He is, yeah.
I need to save some money somewhere, don't I? But do I just pick expensive players along the field and then stick a load of kids on the bench for 50 grand? Is that what you've done?
That's basically what I've done, yeah. It's a trope that I've always done, whether it's in the previous Fantasy Super League games that have been or fantasy football. I've always just gone all out with my starting 11 or starting 13 and just picked, just used my budget to use it up, essentially, just pick players that I can afford.
Well, let me do that first. Let me pick my bench. Now, lots of people have said this young lad at Leeds is going to be good, this Tom Nicholson-Watton, so we'll get him in the squad for 50 grand because he might never play. This Castleford player, El Zakem, a lot of people said he's had a good pre-season. So there's
I've heard good things about him.
Who else should I go with who's down further? I mean, because again, you are just picking players based on how cheap they are. The lad, where is he at Huddersfield? Salabio, because he was at Wakefield. He was good. I can't remember if he was the one who got sent off for tackling or being tackled by Richie Milo, or that was the other French lad. I can't remember, but it was good fun. Who else should I pick then as my 4th 50 grand player? I'll put Jack Hughes in there because it's a different Jack Hughes just to confuse people.
Yep.
So I've got to have a London. You may as well stick a London player in there somewhere, haven't you? Because you're going to have to use your squad. So there you go. There's me. There's my bench. I've got my fullback and my wing. I've spent £480,000, and I've only got 2.1 million to spend. Where do you usually then, when you're first building the team, you just go, right, here's the players I want, I'm having them, and then build it around that?
I sort of think of the players that I know are going to get me the points. So Bevan French, obviously, is going to score a few tries. He's going to get me a few points. Harry Smith is going to, hopefully kick a good few goals and also maybe come up with a few tries. So he's going to score me some points as well. So I sort of try to look at where I'm going to score the points first and then sort of build the team around that. I'm sure different people have different methods that probably work better for them, but like I say, this is a whole different experience for me than playing fantasy football. Or I've even done like fantasy. Me and my wife, we got quite invested in fantasy Formula One at one point. which, if you can believe such a thing exists.
I imagine, what do you have to just pick the drivers on that one, or do you have to pick constructors and stuff as well?
No, from what I can remember, I think you basically just pick the drivers.
Right, so that's not too bad, then, is it?
Yeah.
Do you just pick Max Verstappen every week and then?
I think I did, to be fair. My wife, I think she picked, she's a big McLaren fan, so I think she picked Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri. But this all stems from when I got the F1 Manager game for the PlayStation, which I won't bore you with the details with, but yeah.
Can't beat the good old-fashioned Formula One Manager game on the Spectrum, where you had to do the tyre changes yourself. I'm trying to, do I want Matty Russell? I don't know how Warrington are going to play. This is the thing with Warrington. I don't know how Warrington are going to do this season. So do I want Warrington players on big money in my squad or not? I don't know. I'm spending more time thinking about this than I do most things, which is a bit of a thing today. Let's put Misty in there. Let's get him. He was all right last year. So I've got my two wingers. I've spent loads of money. I'm gonna have to get some cheap prop forwards in there, aren't I? But I've just looked at props, and I'm not spending 115 grand on Liam Watson. He'll get sent off or yellow carded all the time. So
of course.
Now Phil was saying yesterday, this Momirovski at Leeds is going to be a star player, but he's 140 grand. That's a lot of money.
That's a big price tag.
You know, would I rather get a Kevin Agama at Huddersfield for 125, or who else have we got down here? Conrad Howell, no. Maludi, no. Letelier Lee for 110. Well, Harry Newman's 105.
Yeah.
Go on, we'll get Harry Newman in there.
That's not a bad decision, actually.
Get Harry Newman in there.
I felt compelled myself to put sort of one of the this new sort of crop of young Leeds players that are coming through into my team. So I've got Jack Sinfield in my team. You know, if he's going to be half as good as his dad, then you know, not just at rugby league. If he's half as good a person as his dad, then you're onto a winner with him, aren't you?
Now, you mentioned Oliver Gildart. Surely 90 grand's a bit of a steal, isn't it? That seems.
That's what I thought. I kind of thought to myself, surely he should carry a little bit more of a bigger price tag. But at the same time, I wasn't going to question it. So he was straight in the shopping basket.
Now, halfbacks, this is going to be difficult, isn't it? Because you are, again, now you've gone Jack Sinfield. That's fair enough. I mean, I wouldn't spend 150 grand on Matt Frawley, but Bradley Croft for 140 grand. I know he's pedigree in the competition, so I can put him in.
Yes.
And I'm going to build my squad, and I've already used up all my Rhinos players now, so I can't put any more Rhinos in there. So that's unless I get rid of my sub or whatever. You've got Harry Smith at scrum half. For 10 grand less, I can get Johnny Lomax or Mark Sneed or Mikey Lewis or Lola
It was a tough decision, I must admit, because of the names that are available and the prices. You know, again, you're only entitled to 3 players per club, aren't you? So I thought I've kind of got to use my my Wigan players wisely here. So that was what sort of swung me towards picking Smith.
I've put no Saints in there yet, so I'm going to have to put... well, Saints, they're quite good. I've got no Saints players in my squad, so we'll go with Lomax. Now, hooker, that's going to be the next position I'm going to look at. Again, there's some interesting prices, aren't they? Danny Walker. I mean, I'm going to have to go for a Pape because he's my mate, so we'll put him in.
That's understandable.
That's fair enough. I mean, hopefully Lee have a good season now. I've picked him, but yeah, some interesting prices there. So again, you're trying to work out how well teams are going to play around these, but you can have as many star players as you want, but if the team around them aren't good or don't perform. So I mean, here's a what have I spent? 1.23 million. I've still got a bit of money left. Cameron Smith, John Asiata, Elliot Minchella. There's some interesting names there. Where's Wigan's loose forward?
That's a very good question.
Have they not got one? Hang on. You haven't seen Lee. I haven't seen Wigan there, have you? Wigan don't appear to have a loose forward. Oh.
I must admit, I did see there was 1 or 2 teething troubles with it on Saturday. Somebody posted on Twitter that there was
no Salford players.
No Salford players, which allowed me to just have a little chuckle to myself that the season hadn't even started and Nene McDonald's already gone missing.
Oh.
So
Oh, I can't put Cam Smith in, can I? Because I've got too many Leeds players.
No, this is the thing, isn't it? Your hands are tied at this point.
Will Asiar to get sent off? I'm going to go Minchella. I like Minchella, and yeah, we'll go with him. Put him in there.
Yeah, I must admit that's a wise choice. That's who I've picked at that role as well.
Well, see, am I wrong to be thinking I'm going to go props last because they're useless?
No, because I think I did the same thing actually. I think I basically picked the entirety of my front row last.
I'm going to go Ben Garcia because he scored, when we looked at the stats earlier, he scored heavily last year in terms of tackles and stuff. So Ben Garcia is going in. I like Nixon Putt because 12,000 people in Papua New Guinea have watched a video of him the other week on Facebook. I can't just pick players based on if they do well on social media. No, I can. Let's get him in there. Nixon Putt. I think I'm
surprised this wasn't actually one of the criteria for players, considering IMG have scrutinised everything.
So now I've got loads of money. I've got like 500,000 left, which is so now I can have a think about. But I'm quite happy with my squad. I don't really want to change much about it. But let's have a look at these prop forwards because these are. Let's get the stats back up because this is where we're going to have to find some tackly try score. Well, I mean, how many tries do prop forwards score? Not many. So tackle.
I was going to say they're probably going to pop up with once or two a season.
Yeah, it's a shame you can't break it down by position here, isn't it? Because that will make it much easier to try and.
It would
forward, but. Well, do I pick Brad Fash then? Because there he was with his however many tackles it was. 796, which equals 796 points. That's not a bad return.
No, certainly not.
Get him in there, Brad Fash, and his hair. Can't talk about hair myself. And now I've got. So who do I want? I like Tyler Dupree. I just like him as a player. So you know what's gone wrong here is I've got one Saints player with my squad. I've got a Wigan spot free. Surely I've got to go with either Matty Lees or Alex Walmsley because I can't just keep putting no Saints players in the squad. Who's going to play more games? Can I break down these players by? You used to be able to do it by club on the stats, but obviously you can't.
Yeah,
that's a bit of a shame. But I'll go with Matty Lees. Let's go, Matty.
That's a good choice, I must admit.
And now I've got 0.2 million left to spend, but I don't really want. I'm quite happy with my squad. I mean, I could change the subs, I guess. Get a bit more value. What have we got around the 100 grand mark or whatever? I could put a Jake Truman in there or Jordan Abdul. I don't know how he's going to do in the south of France. Justin Sangai.
I've got Jordan Abdul on my bench actually. I need to put him in the starting 13, but yeah, I've got Jordan Abdul in my team.
So let's get rid of other Jack Hughes. I'm going to put a player I do like at Salford. Now Salford are on there. Let's get where is he? Brad Singleton in there. Get him in the squad. Any other players? You've got the senior brothers on your wings, and that's your.
I have indeed, yeah.
It's your selection. Cade Cust at 95. Again, it's how are the Devils going to go? I don't know.
It's also Cade Cust is one. How many games is he going to play? Yeah. Because obviously his injury struggles are well documented.
I think I'm going to stick with my squad. So I've got French, Johnston, Newman, Gildart, Miskey, Croft, Lomax, Lees, Ipape, Fash, Garcia, Putt, Minicella, Nicholson, Watton, Elzakem, Salabio, and Singleton on the bench. That seems okay.
Yeah.
I should really have more Saints players in there because they're playing London this week and you expect them to score more points, but that'll do for me. Confirm. Yes, for your teams now, yes. How do I add a
There we go.
Join mini. I need to create the league now because we're going to have the 4020 league, 4020 league, in which there will be a prize at the end of the season of some rubbish. So that will be good.
Is it going to be an abundance of the things you were given from the Super League season launch last week?
Correct.
Could the prize be a Betfred Super League branded power bank?
It could be. It might not be. I've got to put it. Don't look at the password. Hang on. Let me stop sharing the screen. I'll do that.
I was going to say, yeah, it might be a better idea.
Let me come back. I'm going to put the password in now. You can't see it.
I could think of you could come up with like a really good clickbaity title for this video now. Just but you'll never guess what the password is.
You'll never guess what the password is. Right, so I've invented my league. The pin is 8411. I'll have to put that on.
Better make a note of that.
I can't show the screen because it's got my password on it. In fact, I can blur it out. Oh no, if I blur it out, it takes too much hassle. I'll just put it on the bottom of the screen. I'll edit this bit out and go. So we set up the mini league 8411 4020 live. You search for it. Dan's going to enter it, and all you can at home as well. You can have 3 teams if you want. I don't care, and we'll see what happens. And have you got any advice for prospective people who've never played Fantasy Super League before, other than stick with it for more than a week?
I think it's one of them things that either goes one or two ways, isn't it? You either just forget about it after a while, or you suddenly it just takes over your life. And like every time you're watching Super League, you're then looking at the teams when the announcements come in on the Thursday afternoon or the Friday afternoon if it's a Sunday game. You're looking at the announcements, thinking, right, he's going to get me some points. Why is he not in the team? You know, I'm going to be bemoaning the non-selection of somebody like Jack Sinfield or Sammy Kabula, thinking to myself, well, come on, get him in the team. I need some points here. But no, it should be good fun. I'm looking forward to it, and looking forward to talking about it on a regular basis if needs be.
Yeah, I'm not sure how we're going to do it next week. We're just come on. Here's my team, and I'm going to change all. You can only make so many changes, can't you? It's not as if you can change the whole team every week. But
I believe we're allowed to make as many changes as we like, transfer-wise, up until I think something like an hour before kickoff and the Hull versus Hull KR game on Thursday.
All right, here it says, as a manager, you have 4 transfers per calendar month from February to September available to replace your underperforming or injured players with informed players. So there you go. So as soon as you say, as soon as Thursday's gone, that's it. But you've still got 4 transfers to use if you so desire this month. And you've captained Bevan French. I need to make a captain of my squad, don't I? That's what I need to do as well. But Bevan French is your captain, did you say?
He is.
I'm quite happy with my squad. I'm all these people who say it's difficult to build a squad. All the stats are there for you and everything, and just need to find the players who are in the wrong position. Now there was an ice hockey fantasy league in the mid-90s where it was based on British ice hockey, and one of the import forwards who was at Bracknell Bees was down as a defenseman. So I picked him up, and everyone scored loads of points. And I wish I could remember his name now, but I can't. But fancy ice hockey, fancy cricket, fancy Formula One, fancy Super League. It's the future, and hopefully people get involved, and it's another layer of interest in the competition. You see how big it is.
That's it.
Football and baseball and everything in America. This could be the thing that the NRL needs to get him on board and get it pushed in America in Vegas, because that's the kind of thing they love.
Yep, most definitely. I think there's even been sticking into another one of my interests. I'm sure I've seen Fantasy WWE at some point.
I mean,
I'm not sure how that would work.
So. No, that seems a bit strange, doesn't it? But it doesn't surprise me, because when you can bet on professional wrestling, why can't you have a fantasy league?
Exactly.
Must be manipulative, but never mind. Dan, thank you very much for your time.
Not a problem.
We'll arrange something for next week and see how well it's going or not.
Yes.
And I don't think it'll take as long next week, because it'll just be, well, it's going okay. And we need some cuts and celebrity guests like on the telly, and then it'll go.
We do. We need to get in touch with some extra Super League players as well. We can do Phoenix from the Flames. We'll reenact Ryan Hall's try against Huddersfield or something.
Now, who's going to be our Jeff Astle? That's the big question.
Oh, that's a good question. I'm not sure. Rugby league players, if any of you are any good on karaoke, please let us know. Get in touch. We'll happily have you come on and sing a popular song for us.